Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of CS Mentor. So, ICSI dropped one of the biggest announcements as of yesterday, and it has a huge impact on all the students who are attempting in the December 2025 examinations. So, what is this announcement? This announcement has to do entirely with your portions, and no, your portions are not being increased, so there's nothing to be worried about. Rather, ICSI is decreasing portions. Yes, you heard it right, they are decreasing portions, and especially for the module 1 students, this is going to benefit you massively. So what is this announcement? Let's just look into it. So for those of you who wish to know how to access this announcement, I'm just going to show that to you. Okay, you go to the academic portal, go to new syllabus, click on new syllabus 2022 again, and as you can see over here, there is an announcement. Click on that. This right here is the announcement, and like I said, this announcement is applicable for the December 2025 examinations itself. Okay, normally when ICSI gives out announcements like this, they make it applicable for the next attempt, but no, they've made it applicable for this attempt itself because, like I said, they've reduced portions. All right, so which three subjects have been impacted through this announcement? Those three subjects are entirely only in the executive level. Is the professional level being impacted or is CSET being impacted? None of them are. It is only the executive level. And in the executive itself, there are two papers in module 1 where ICSI has gone ahead and reduced the portions, and one paper in module 2, which, yes, they have reduced portions, but we can say it is quite insignificant. I have downloaded the module for you. What is this particular PDF? It is the PDF that shows the syllabus of 2022, and they've made modifications in this itself. So I'm going to be jumping right to the page where we can access our jurisprudence subject, and that is right over here. Fine. So, what modifications have been made? First and foremost, we have a modification in chapter number 2, that is your Constitution of India. Here, they've removed two topics. Please understand, they've not removed the whole of Constitution of India. They've removed only two topics with respect to the same. And then um, come down to your chapter number 9, the law relating to specific relief. Now, this is going to come as a huge relief for all students. And if you're a new student, if it's the first time that you're studying the subject, you may not realize it. But for older students, or who those of you who are giving your attempts again, you will realize that this is a huge relief. Specific Relief Act stands at a slightly higher level of understanding as compared to the current jurisprudence portions. So the fact that ICSI has removed it from this syllabus comes as great news. Now, have they removed it entirely? The answer is no. The reason they've removed Specific Relief Act is because it goes into the draftings, pleadings, and appearances paper at the professional level. Friends, most of the chapters that are being deleted from your current syllabus is being deleted simply because it's already there in the professional level. So Specific Relief Act, you see it in the draftings paper. Arbitration also stands modified to the extent where only two topics are removed over here. And those topics also relate to the mediation rules only. So as a result, conciliation and arbitration stand unmodified. It's only mediation that is affected. Now comes the biggest news. Indian Stamp Act and your law relating to registration of documents stand deleted. Now, why is this good news? Is because these chapters again are very massive. These are huge chapters, almost equivalent to three chapters. And so, right now, they're deleted because it already exists at the professional level. How do I know this? They've given it in this statement over here. Again, it stands in the draftings paper, the professional level. Apart from these two chapters, also Sale of Goods Act stands deleted. Now, unlike the other chapters which are deleted because it is already there in the professional level, sale of goods is going to be removed from the executive level, and it will be covered in the next revision of the CSEET study material. So this same chapter is being taken and being put into the CSEET level. All right. So friends, this is with respect to jurisprudence, and so we can say that four chapters stand removed at this stage. All right, and two chapters stand modified. Two chapters are modified. Now, the modifications I feel are not extremely helpful in the sense that even if you did study or not study them, it's okay. But the four chapters being removed is going to be of huge help to students. How should students use this to their benefit? One, obviously, there are 18 chapters and four have been removed. Then, in this case, you have only 14 chapters to study. But please remember, there is one con with respect to the reduction of chapters. It means that ICSI can ask much more detailed questions from the remaining 14 chapters. But I'd like to think that the pros far outweigh the cons over here, because a reduction of four chapters is huge with respect to the jurisprudence paper. All right, great. Apart from the jurisprudence paper, what else is being modified? We are seeing a modification in the company law and practice. Now, here I jump right to the topics that are being modified, and that is your chapter number 10, compromise arrangement and amalgamation concepts. Here, they're removing only the oppression and mismanagement and class action suits. Now, while this is almost half of your chapter, okay, they've not removed the compromise arrangement and amalgamation part, so that still needs to be studied. It is only the remaining two that stand removed. And your entire topic about inspection, inquiry, investigation stands deleted. Okay. Most students I know choose to leave out this chapter. They don't study it properly or they go unprepared with this chapter. So it's great that it's being removed at this stage. However, please remember, these topics are still going to be there at the professional level. Now, apart from chapter number 12, your CSR also stands removed. Why is this? Is because the CSR concepts are there again in professional level in two different papers. One is a compulsory paper as well as the open book paper. And therefore, we can say that in Companies Act, two chapters stand completely deleted and then one chapter is modified. So, is there a massive pros to this? Definitely, because these are chapters that are quite big actually. But is it going to impact your manner of studying? Not so much, because you still have a total of 17 chapters that you still have to study. Now, let's come down to the third subject. It is not, the third subject is in module 2, so I'm going to go right down into that. Right. In module 2, in group 2, paper 6, here, sadly, three chapters have been removed, but they're not very consequential in the sense that your chapter number 4, that is ECB, stands removed. As you all already know, this is a fairly smaller chapter, and like I said, doesn't really impact your studying a lot. Apart from ECB, what stands deleted is your law relating to fugitive economic offenders and your Benami Transactions Prohibition Act, basically a law relating to benamis. All three chapters, very easy, very simple, and very small. So the fact that they've removed these, yes, it is beneficial to you, but is it really beneficial compared to your module 1? May not be so much. Okay, so friends, this right here is the modifications with respect to the syllabus. And now let's talk about what you should be doing. How should you be studying at this point? Like I said, when there is a reduction in the portions, it simply means that ICSI now has more chances of asking more questions from the remaining chapters. So if you were studying certain chapters, especially the big ones in portions, maybe 70% or 80% of the portions, now it would be a good time to start actually studying it in its 100%. Okay, again, these are only chances. There is no way of knowing how ICSI will actually ask these questions, but you should stay prepared. All right, the second thing is that with respect to studying, I know there are many students who've already completed the portions. What about you all? Ultimately, knowledge never goes to waste. Okay, so even if you're not writing these portions in this December 2025 attempt or soon thereafter, you are still going to have to attempt it for your professional paper. So don't be too sad, because you're still going to have to attempt it at a later stage. So like I said, knowledge does not go to waste, and don't worry about it. Rejoice and put in more effort right now, because you now have a lesser study burden with respect to your executive paper. So that's all, friends. I'd like to know your comments and your thoughts. Do put your comments and thoughts in the comments below. And I'd like to know what you think of this reduction in portions. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'll sign off for now.